And we're live. All right. Matt's got a beverage. Nice. Good to see you, Matt. Thanks so much for helping out. So someone has decided that corporate videos for their company is a bigger draw than, actually being on the weekly. So yeah, Chris is busy, probably dancing next to a pink bunny with a little duck bill. So yeah, the company there have a mascot and it's like a pink rabbit. Yeah. So I don't know
Let's
what
not
this is.
let's not begrudge collecting a paycheck now.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, and it's good that at least there's a variety at that job. She's never bored. There's always some fire to put out.
Right.
No, I just thought it was funny. It was like, no, I'm recording videos at my work. Okay, yes, but yeah. So hopefully we'll see Chris again soon, and yeah, we're gonna try to do some beginning of March. We're gonna try to do some Frostgrave again. So that should be good. Should happen. I gotta get my foam cutter out and get the snowy terrain sculpted, so we have a little more variety. So what have you been up to, Matt? Any good game nights or anything?
Let's see. Well, we finished our Tunnels of Trolls adventure, of
Hmm.
course. I do. I played some board games with my local reading real life group here. Lost terribly. No, I mean I made my zero level characters for a DCC
Oh,
game.
nice, nice. Yes, yeah. So we'll
Yeah.
be running a funnel tomorrow. That should be fun. And this one definitely it was written later than some of the classic stuff, so you can see that it was done with the wisdom of like how people hide the characters that they like, or how you approach different situations. There's a lot of decision making that may determine who lives and who dies. Just based on like positioning and stuff.
Hmm.
So that'll be fun to see how that plays out. And then it's got a really cool kind of end of adventure thing that's very different. So any heartbreaking stuff may get changed. So it's pretty cool
Right
and
on.
real straightforward. Yeah, so we'll see. And so we're going to try to run that on roll 20. We'll see how that goes. Most of it is just going to be I'll use the map from the adventure, so that over illustrated very complicated map. So I'll just reveal pieces of it as you guys find it, and then if there is any combat where we need to use a grid, we'll pop into a kind of a battle map kind of thing. But it shouldn't be too bad. And yeah, they've got the only nice thing that I like about the roll 20 is the little trackers. They've got three, like a green, red, and blue tracker, and you can assign those to anything, to health or mana points
Mhm.
or whatever. So yeah. Oh yeah, we should get the chat's opinion. Anybody with some DCC experience, what do you think about the fleeting luck mechanic? The thing that was added in Lankmar, the Lankmar box set had that new rule that they added, and some of the DCC forums were saying it's a must for any time you play that game, because it's so much. It motivates the characters a lot more, and it's much more fun. And there's one more thing than that you get for a critical, or for interesting tactics or role play. So basically, it's additional luck, not connected to your stat. Luck points that are awarded for rolling crits, or role play or something unusual, and you can spend them just like the luck points to add to your rolls, bonuses to your rolls. But if anybody fumbles in the game, everybody loses their luck. So that's why they call it fleeting luck. And yeah, people are saying it's a fun additional mechanic, and especially for a funnel, it might be actually kind of even much more fun for you to desperately hang on
Mhm.
to things. So yeah, that'll be good. Good to try. Yeah, so if anybody has any experience, yeah, let us know. But it seems yeah, it seems like a good addition. There's an additional thing that I think is more tuned towards like 4E, 5E D&D players, where you can spend luck for healing. And so in DCC, especially for a funnel, I don't think you want to do that. But that's another mechanic that people were talking about to just add a little more variety to what's going on. But yeah, the funnel should be fun. And so yeah, everyone's got to run 4 characters. So we'll have what, 12?
12, yeah.
12 townspeople running into a nightmare. So it should be good. Yeah, so this year, 2025, is all about fun games that we've always wanted to play. We've already done, so Tunnels and Trolls and now DCC will be good examples of that, just stuff that, and so that means we have to get back to Dragonbane because that's another game where the fun is definitely foregrounded.
It's light in theme, not or mood. I don't know how you describe that, but not necessarily light in system. But yeah,
right. Yeah. So it should be fun, and there's so many adventures now we can kind of keep putting based on the levels of the characters, keep pulling out DCC anytime we need to, just like Tunnels and Trolls. There's a and that's great. So I put together a kind of a super cut, like all of the sessions together, just the gameplay sessions for the Tunnels and Trolls that Matt ran, the Cave of the Boar Men, and so we'll release that soon, so you can see that all together without all of the page flipping and how much does a spear cost? All of that exciting content. Nice.
Yeah, and I'll start working on that short too.
Oh yeah, that would be fun to support. Yeah, so I did some at the end of the cartoon stream yesterday. I did some character art. I redrew Will's dwarf, and then started on the elves. The elves I didn't get very far on. I wasn't happy with how they were coming out, but after dinner I buckled down and drew some elves. Okay, good. Yeah, it's just drawing on camera is rough. I could barely do it for my cartoon, and my cartoon's really simple. But drawing on camera, I always am too overcritical, or I'm second guessing myself, so I can't get into any sort of flow. Yeah, but cool to see everybody in the chat. Abyss, Galerion, Vero's here, nice. Very cool. All right, so look forward to some DCC tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's see what's going on in the wonderful world of tabletop. So you all set, Matt?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to the weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Hello.
And this week on the weekly, Invincible RPG by Free League, Dark Horse closing their digital offerings, Skeleton Key shut down, possible. Games are all canceled, so we don't know what they're doing. The next step seems to be shutting it down, and a Runequest bundle, so everything that's offered in the current version. So let's start with something that Free League is really losing me here. It started with Electric State. Electric State, I was like, okay. I mean, I get it. Tales from the Loop, and Electric State. And then The Walking Dead, or The World of the Walking Dead, and just said, no interest in that. And now one more release. And I'm sure mechanically I would probably enjoy it. I'm sure there's some fun to be had there. But yes, Invincible, the superhero, the kind of, postmodern deconstructionist superhero thing, which came 10 years too late because everyone had already done it in the 90s, is now available as a role-playing game offered from Free League. So Skybound Comics and Free League are teaming up to bring you an adaptation of the Amazon streaming series, but it was a comic book back in 2003. So Robert Kirkman, from The Walking Dead, and Cory Walker and Ryan Ottley doing art for the groundbreaking, okay, if you ignore everything else, groundbreaking comic book Invincible. So currently in animation on Amazon, and now a superhero role-playing game. So the design of this game is being done by Adam Bradford of D&D Beyond. And then also Tomas Härenstam. So Härenstam is be involved in just about everything, and I would prefer he work on the next Blade Runner case file as opposed to Invincible. But what are you going to do? So a quote from Bradford: "Invincible is my favorite comic series. I've waited to play in this universe for many years. The way the story unfolds in a sprawling saga over the course of 144 issues, without endless retconning, lends itself particularly well to tabletop role-playing, and I can't wait for fans to experience their own superhero stories with the game." Yeah, right. And then Härenstam said, "One of my very first tabletop role-playing games was the old Marvel Superheroes by TSR. Making a superhero RPG has been a lifelong dream. I think the genre and Invincible's more grounded and visceral take on it will be a great fit for the Year Zero system mechanics." So we're getting a Year Zero superhero game. Yeah. So I definitely want to try the mechanics, and I definitely want to hear how they did it, but I don't know. This setting is not particularly inspiring. And if you've watched the animated series, it's that same kind of, Korean studio animation that everything on Amazon, that's cranked out the Critical Role stuff, all that stuff. It all looks the same. And so all the characters are like, slightly Asian looking. You're just like, okay, whatever. I don't know what I'm looking at. But so another kind of, that's too bad. And so later this year, this is going to hit Kickstarter, I believe. Yeah, Kickstarter is launching later this year. You can sign up for the notification. I'll put a link to that. Their initial offering will be a core rulebook and a starter set, kind of their usual deal. Oh, wow. Interesting. So they're going to be illustrations from the comics by Walker and Ottley, but the graphic design is Johan Noor. So yeah, he's getting some good work because he's doing the second edition Alien design as well. Okay. Yeah, so if you've seen the cover, he's took like the face hugger, like a silhouette of the face hugger, and kind of like did some really interesting work on the design for just even the covers of the books. So yeah, looking forward to so it'll be a well-designed, or at least, very interestingly designed book. And the rules, we'll see if Year Zero handles superheroes. So we're going to have to do a dip. It's nothing we've ever played or anything I've really been that motivated to play, but we're going to have to maybe dip into superheroes because there's a lot of them now. They're starting to come back.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page as you. Like, I don't care about the Invincible property at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not at all. The cartoon was kind of meh. I never finished it, and it had ideas like, what if we had an evil guy who was like Superman? Like, oh, that's never been done before.
Right? Yeah.
And but a superhero RPG just stripped out of that and played in its own thing, I think could be a lot of fun. Because one thing, I'm still on Free League side, even though they're doing all these dumb licenses. Because they've shown that they can adapt that Year Zero system to support a lot of different game worlds and game feels, So I would not be surprised if the rules themselves are solid. And could be a lot of fun. We would just have to ignore all that silly Invincible stuff and do our own thing.
Yeah. Do you think you'd be interested in doing like an original superhero adventure, like an original storyline?
I think you could have a lot of fun with that. You could even do like a session 0 where the group kind of because like every superhero world or property, it has its own thing on like why there are superheroes and what their deal is, and so it might be kind of fun to do like a session 0 where we cook up those parameters, why the hell are there superheroes? I don't know. It could be fun.
Yeah, and how they're viewed and how they kind of organize. Yeah. No, that could be really fun. Yeah, and if they've got solid mechanics, because like the the panic mechanics in Alien, or there's like a lot of really fun stuff that Year Zero has modified itself to be. So so superpowers, it might be really fun to see how they do it, and being able to push rolls and stuff is always a good time. So, well, speaking of comic books, Embracer Group is squeezing some more out of some of their possessions. So we got an announcement that Dark Horse is shutting down its specifically its iOS comic app. So you've got until March 30th to download everything you bought for them, because otherwise it's gone. And I don't know like in what state you're going to be downloading them, if it's just going to be local and you still have to use the app to view it, or if you're actually getting PDFs or something, EPUBs or something that's viewable in another application. But yes, the Dark Horse digital website is still there, and you can still make an account. And at least through the summer of 2025. But then they say you also can sync the website account with the app, and then you can download the comics. But that's only possible until March 30th of this year. So so Dark Horse says they're not going away. They're just kind of changing their strategy for digital comics. So a quote from the company, so they're still available on numerous digital reading platforms, they're saying, but they've decided to stop their direct-to-reader sales because, quote, consumer reading preferences have evolved in different directions. So... yeah.
That sounds like they're hiring a third party to manage it, and they're going to go like just all subscription.
Yeah. They'll just dump. Yeah.
You're never going to own it.
Right. Dump it all on Amazon Kindle now, which swallowed Comixology. Yeah. Yeah. So digital comics are going to be that much more unpleasant to deal with. So you can get a refund of comics that you bought this year. But the purchases have to go through, Apple and iOS, and I'm sure Apple's not going to let go of their 30% or whatever. So you'll get some sort of refund, a modified refund, prorated. But that might not be as easy as you'd think. So it's nice. Yeah, it's nice that Dark Horse gave people a heads up and didn't just pull the plug on this and say, sorry, it's no longer available. Everything is gone. But at the same time, this brings up the question of, you don't own. So, and specifically in their FAQ, they say, you don't own the books themselves. You only own the license to them. And when we don't have the license to it, then we cut off your access. Mm-hmm. So, and some more articles that came out about this. So Ron Wyden, an Oregon Democratic senator, actually just recently wrote a letter to the head of the FTC, encouraging them to require companies admit, so get rid of things that say buy. You're not clicking a buy button to buy a digital comic. Require companies to admit that they're not really buying an ebook or even a digital download for a video game. You're basically just buying a license. So Wyden's letter said that they want to ensure that consumers who purchase or license digital goods can make informed decisions and understand that ownership rights, what ownership rights they are obtaining. So the kind of information that he feels needs to be disclosed, or he's telling FTC should be disclosed, is how long a license lasts, what circumstances might expire it or revoke the license, and if the consumer can transfer or resell this license. So all of this stuff, they should be happening before and at point of sale to make it, clear what's going on. So to put it simply, prior to agreeing to any transaction, consumers should understand what they are paying for and what is guaranteed after the sale. So, so California's made some, I think Governor Newsom in California signed a bill recently banning digital stores from using the words buy and purchase. So that's good. There's somebody actually doing it. So maybe that's why Oregon got the idea. So so basically, you're just getting a license to access something. So something like a PlayStation Network, if your account is banned for something you said on voice or chat or whatever, you'll no longer be able to access anything. And we also just saw that with Kindle. Kindle kind of did the same thing that Dark Horse is doing. They're saying, okay, you still own this, but you don't own it off of a Kindle device. So they disabled the ability to download things. So it used to be you could hook up a Kindle device to a PC or to a computer with a USB, download the native Kindle files, and then modify those or convert those into PDFs or whatever, so you could use them somewhere else. So that's no longer possible. So this same sort of thing, what you own, how you use it, and what people are going to let you do with it is, yeah, very, very frustrating. So a final quote from the letter: the shift from physical to digital goods presents some complex legal questions. So one thing is clear, however, consumers deserve more transparency about their ownership rights in digital goods. Guidance from the FTC on this issue will help ensure digital goods sellers are aware of the practice, and that American consumers can be informed, can make informed buying decisions. Yes, and and that day has already expired where you can download your Kindle books. Yeah, that was February 26th, so a couple of days ago. You are no longer. So that .azw3 file is all you got now, and you can't even access that unless you're gonna, hack your. You're gonna mess with your Kindle and uproot its operating system and firmware. You're not gonna have access to any of that stuff. Yeah, so the Amazon gave up that. And the frustrating thing about that when they told you you're not going to be able to do that is there was no bulk download for Kindle books. So if you wanted to get them, backed up to your computer before this deadline, you did it one at a time. You just click, yeah. So obviously they were going to, make you spend hours doing something that they didn't want you to do.
I feel like there's going to be a new wave of popularity and just illegally downloading everything again.
Yeah, they're really asking for it, taking away the convenience and confusing the marketplace. I wonder what the EU is doing about this, because they always seem to be protecting privacy or protecting consumer rights a bit better than the US. The US is still a little more Wild West about some of this stuff, but I'm curious what they're going to be conforming to. But it's interesting that California, made that took that step to get rid of the idea you're not buying anything, because I've always had that thought, oh, well, if I get it digitally, then it's there forever, because I've had experiences with a few digital platforms where stuff has been archived for 10 or 20 years and it's still there. Like, I can go back to it. So in a few situations that's been the case, but you can't always count on that. And with the kind of shifting economics, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, more exciting news. This is another depressing week here. Wizards of the Coast, right? They said, right, we're not going to license anymore. We want the whole thing. We're not just going to make, millions of dollars from licensing our IP. We're going to produce our own AAA video games, because that's the easiest thing in the world to do, man. It takes like a week, $1 million in a week, and you got yourself a AAA video game. Well, actually, I guess it's a little bit harder. Yes, the Skeleton Key studio that that Wizards supposedly had, I think 4 big budget games in development has now announced that they have canceled the last game, the last existing project, and this one before it was even officially announced. So did it ever really exist? Yeah. So we found all this out from Nassim Ait-Kaci. Sorry about the pronunciation. He was an audio director working at the studio. And so on social media, he said, I've lost my job, looking for work, no more hiring. The game was canceled. And then previously in 2023, the other 3 games, I think, they've canceled a total of 5 games. 5 games, and then had layoffs back in 2023. But Wizards of the Coast says we do still have plans for D&D video games in the future, because we can't get over this Baldur's Gate success. We have to recreate that. It's so easy to do. We should be able to do it ourselves. Yeah, so Skeleton Key was founded in 2023, so they only lasted a year before they started getting rid of everybody. And they want to develop games with immersive gameplay, unique stories, and thought-provoking moments of suspense and horror. Okay. Their studio head, Christian Dailey, was previously BioWare, and they just recently hired the director of Veilguard. So they're just like grabbing up all of the the previously doing something in AAA games. Yeah, Corinne Bush was game director, yeah, for Veilguard. So she joined the team, and now we have the announcement that they've canceled this last game, and there's no job. You know, they're not looking. There's no work for hire job ads on their website. So what could they possibly be doing besides paying a bunch of directors to go to a nice office? Or is it all is it all work remote? Yes. So massive layoffs, but still Wizards is convinced that yeah, they're gonna make video games.
Right.
Yeah. So very strange. I don't know what they're thinking, and they still have. I mean, I think everything is gonna basically hinge on the success of this Exodus game that they're working on. That's going to be because it's an original IP. It's a BioWare Mass Effect guy. But they did make the mistake of releasing a actual play this week of this game. So the director of the game was the game master, and I didn't pay enough attention. I kind of just jumped around through the video, and I didn't pay attention to what the system was that they were running, if they're rolling d20s or what they were actually rolling. But the role play was so unbearable that it was hard to get to the actual game. But yeah, they did a bad job of showing off the tabletop pen and paper version of Exodus. So it doesn't seem like the video game is going to fare much better. It seems real half-baked and just kind of like, what if Mass Effect had time dilation? Wouldn't that be cool? But it was like a real generic, setting. It didn't have any character or anything very interesting going on, except for your friends get old. Yeah, so we'll see. So yeah, this so they're saying this doesn't necessarily mean Skeleton Key is gone, but if Exodus fails, the game and the TTRPG, then I think Wizards is probably gonna, or Hasbro is probably gonna put a stop to all this nonsense and say, let's just license stuff again. That was pretty effortless.
The thing, though, too, with Wizards, if you look at their track record, even if the video game is, semi-successful, it won't be Baldur's Gate successful. That's no way that's happening.
Right.
But even if it's semi-successful, Wizards' track record with supporting role-playing games that aren't D&D and card games that aren't Magic the Gathering is horrible. They'll put out the core set, and if you're lucky, they'll throw one more supplement out there, and then you'll never hear about it again.
Right. Yeah, if it doesn't develop a speculator's market like Magic does, or if it doesn't have a big social media following and actual plays, then yeah, they don't they don't have much interest, and they measure stuff in very, very strange ways.
Did you see that Hasbro they had a board meeting or something where that guy, the head dude, laid out their plans for the future or whatever, and it was what they were targeting, what they're emphasizing, blah blah blah. They didn't mention Wizards once in that thing, so I don't know. It's weird. As big as we think Wizards is, I don't think on the world stage our hobby still makes that much money.
Yeah. No, I think that's true. Yeah, because when they say $1 billion, Wizards is $1 billion, a chunk of that is Magic. A chunk of that is all the stuff they crank out for Magic the Gathering that people just endlessly hoard. Yeah, it's very funny, their whole attitude towards things, and probably they are releasing some numbers, but I'm sure Monopoly Go probably has bigger revenue than most of Wizards of the Coast, most of the projects they're working on, because you can get new dice. You can unlock new dice, which is I think with a strategy that they're trying to do for their VTT, buy some new dice.
Sigil?
For Sigil, yes. So that was something that didn't make it into this week. We'll talk about that a little more after the cast. But yes, Sigil has officially launched, and you're not paying anything extra other than your D&D Beyond subscription. It still seems like very early days, though. There doesn't seem like a lot of content. That's probably why they didn't break it out into its own subscription, because there just is not enough there to warrant to justify another payment. But what a thing that is. And so how could they do, like, this is a huge move for them and so little fanfare. Like, they've been quietly beta testing this with friends and lovers for half a year, and now they just kind of it just shows up on the D&D Beyond website.
Unbeknownst. I mean, their marketing makes no sense. I mean, look when they rolled out their video service that they've already gotten rid of. Like, who knew where that was or what,
Yeah. I accidentally screwing around with the VPN. I accidentally found that on one of those ad-based platforms, Pluto or something. I stumbled on Purple Worm Kill whatever, and I was like, oh wow, it does exist. They did actually like produce these things. So funny. But they were just giant Grim and Beetle infomercials anyhow. So it wasn't actual content. It was ad-supported content that was actually an ad within itself. So it was a little too much. All right. Well, let's leave this all behind and talk about something that's not D&D and probably a really good alternative if you don't want to get involved in everything that's wrong with D&D and its setting. So you can do that in Glorantha. So there is a great Humble Bundle now with all of the Runequest books published for this latest edition. So Runequest was Journeys, Adventures in Glorantha. All 20 books are available, and you're getting them for less than $1 a piece. So they've supported. This is Chaosium, and Chaosium has supported this new version of the game quite well with a lot of expansions explaining the your pantheon of gods and things. So you basically can get the core rulebook, the starter set, a quick start adventure, the Broken Tower, the Game Master screen, the bestiary, weapons and equipment, the Red Book of Magic, and then there are 4 books of cults, the mythology, the Prosepidi, the Lightbringers, and the Earth Goddesses, and then some more adventures, the Smoking Ruin, the Pegasus Plateau. King of Sartar is fiction, and there's a good in that setting. There's a good adventure as well. 2 encyclopedias, and a source book, a coloring book. I mean, come on, and then 15% off at chaosium.com. So it's basically everything that they've released so far supporting this latest version of Adventure in Glorantha. So that's $18 for their full level, and of course you can go down. I think just getting the quick start in the rule book, you can go down in levels for that. But that's a great alternative. You should definitely check that out. So it's basic BRP, basic role play, powered. So if you played Call of Cthulhu, this system will make a lot of sense. It's pretty deep, and like you were talking about, Matt, we were talking a little bit before the stream. That Bronze Age, it strips away all of the kind of the fantasy tropes, the Eurocentric fantasy tropes and stuff, and you're playing in something that has less baggage and is open more to kind of your group's interpretation. So there's some fun stuff in there.
You get more into, like, I don't want to say primitive, that sounds harsh, but like tribal, and I don't know. Yeah, it's a very different vibe than the classic Western European medieval RPG stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's been around forever. Yeah, the first edition was one of the early days, early 80s, RPGs as well. So roughly equivalent technology to the Bronze Age with varied cultures and overseen by this their pantheon of gods. Yeah, so definitely worth checking out. And these books, if you know Chaosium, their books aren't cheap. So if you can get a digital bundle like this, it's a pretty good deal. And especially if you're
Yeah.
just curious, about the system.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. Like, I didn't get to play RuneQuest much, but I played things that were kind of RuneQuest quest adjacent. Like the Chaosium had the Stormbringer RPG back in the
Oh
day,
yeah. Hmm.
which is based on the Elric saga. And RuneQuest, I think, is safe to say is their crunchiest iteration of the BRP system, because
Hmm.
they do the combat is pretty simulationist,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know. And so it is a big leap from like a Call of Cthulhu to that, but could be fun. Could
Hmm.
be fun. It's a really good deal.
Oh yeah, yeah, and the way that you can kind of mitigate, randomness and power up rolls by basically empowering runes is very interesting. It's a very interesting system, and you're kind of like directing your character more towards certain gods and certain aspects of this this whole belief system. So yeah, it's really fun to to play around with that and kind of like think about what that means, and the effect that has on role play, I think, is interesting too, because being a worshiper of death, or being someone that is more aligned with something that you would see as negative or anti human, is actually not negative. So yeah, interesting stuff. So yeah, put a link to that as well, so you can take a look. And yeah, as always, they have their different levels, so you can get a taste of something for very little. So I think that's going to do it for this week. So where can people find you, Matt?
I am on the Blue Sky and Instagram. It's at Hargald, Hargald. Talking some tunnels and trolls lately.
Nice.
Um, the interesting thing came up with that. Maybe I'll talk about it in the
Oh,
the after credits regarding Ken St. Andre. We can get into that later.
oh, cool.
But yeah, you can hit me up there if you like. And how about you, Jeremy?
Nice. So I just did my February February live stream from the cartoons, and I drew some tunnels and trolls, are some of our tunnels and troll character art at the end of that stream, so it is kind of tabletop related. So that stream shows up both on Upturned Table and then also on Abuse Cartoons, and Abuse Cartoons is my single panel gag cartoon I've been drawing forever. You can read that on Go Comics, so gocomics.com/domestic abuse, and see what that's all about. Yeah, and so there's a March stream coming up sometime in the next 4 weeks. Sorry, I think it's been frustrating for people that followed me when I was doing weekly streams. It's become frustrating to try to figure out when this is happening. I need to schedule things, but it's really hard to do with a teenager, and kind of my current situation is a little more unpredictable. But someday, yeah, and but if you like what we're doing here with the weekly, consider becoming a weekling. You can do that at patreon.com/upturnedtable. Let us know what you'd want to see on the weekly, how much more talking about video games made by Wizards of the Coast you want to hear about. And we will we'll listen to what's going on. The different tiers of the Patreon will let us know what you want to see more of on the channel. Currently, I put together kind of a supercut of the entire Tunnels and Trolls adventure that Matt ran and created. So the Cave of the Boarmen will have a nice like 5.5 hour cut that we'll release. Just the adventure, none of the character creation, none of our shopping. We had a lot of shopping, and cut that right out. But yeah, Will's character jumps on in the middle, and then we finish the adventure with our wizard, running as an NPC. So Terry was unavailable on vacation. So thank you for joining us. And upturntable.com is the main website, and on all social media, Upturned Table. And thanks so much for the our current members and patrons. And you can become a member by clicking on that join button below this video if you're watching us. And the levels are the same as the Patreon. The only thing you're going to miss is the RSS feed. So the RSS feed on the Patreon will be the audio from all of our live streams that you can listen to wherever you listen to RSS feeds, podcast stuff. So thanks for joining us, and we'll be back again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right. So there we go. Yeah. So not a lot. We got so last minute. There was the notification of Sigil going live. I think it's at 2 a.m. here. I got a little notice that Sigil, the D&D virtual platform, is now live. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to let you take a look at it for free. You know, the free account on D&D Beyond will let you get in, play a starting adventure, give you a limited number of miniatures, and basically you can't really save anything, but you can see what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And it looks like an Unreal Engine 5 tabletop with miniatures, and it's digital. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, the comments I've seen so far is that it maybe works well for the big boss battles or the big epic showdowns, but for the tiny stuff that happens in RPGs where you're just talking to the innkeeper or fighting off the goblins from they're attacking the caravan, it doesn't really work that well. It's meant to be big set piece kind of stuff. So that's kind of a mistake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I wanted to be mean, I'd say so. You just 5e the way D&D is now is what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You're just going from one major showdown with Vecna to another. Yeah. With Kate Bush playing in the background.
Yeah, I got my my survey. What do you call that? Final backer kit thingamajigger for the heavy metal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're rolling with that. I should be getting that. No,
nice.
Not too far off.
Are they going to do a subscription? Are they going to pick up the magazine and start doing a quarterly or something?
Funny you should ask. Mm-hmm. That was one of the questions, in their little survey that you had to do at the end. One of the questions was, would you be interested in if we started offering a subscription? Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, I definitely would.
Nice.
But yeah, so I think they're thinking about it. I'm sure they're kind of waiting to see how well this is received, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really loved. I loved that magazine when I was a kid because it was the biggest exposure to Euro comics, the bande dessinée, French and Italian and Spanish comics that you had no other access to. There was no other. I guess Epic was that. Marvel tried to do something where they tried to do a more adult comics anthology kind of stuff, but but heavy metal was that was just so amazing at that time. And it was also a little naughty Playboy magazine, if some older neighbor kid had heavy metal, you're oh, I think there's toplessness in these comics. But the artwork was just amazing, and to see just some of the established masters in European comics that we didn't even know about. We had the Mobius and all the people that have been around forever making amazing work, and we're just oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, that was I remember because I didn't know it at the time, but there was stories in there that I thought were really cool by Mobius, and I didn't know who that was.
Right.
So it was cool.
Yeah, and it's funny too. Maybe of all the anthology magazines, that was the one that maybe frustrated me the least. They had the least number of kind of dog, storylines. You're just I don't care about this. I'm skipping this because there's enough of a variety, and they really did focus on really big stuff. And it had a more sci-fi slant, sci-fi and fantasy stories. So it kept it. There wasn't too much. Kind of fake film noir stuff or anything. There was a real focus on some stuff we hadn't seen before in fun genres for teens. Yeah, but so it's that'd be nice if they could bring that back. But I really don't think in Europe there are still creators doing interesting comics for a higher level of. But I don't think mainstream creators in the U.S. you could get them to do anything all that interesting. They're really bogged down in their politics, and it's just I don't know. It's going to be it would be a very different vibe, I think, than what heavy metal was in the 70s and 80s. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Oh, and I backed Fighting Fantasy.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I shouldn't have, but I did.
But there'll be big, easy to read text. That'll be good. Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. That's great. Yeah, those are great. Yeah, great adventures, and it's cool. And especially in North America, that's good to like they'll easily be able to get those to you. I think they said they'd ship worldwide, but that's reaching a bit. That's going to be hard to get. 5 books, yeah, bundled anywhere.
And did you watch any of Trevor Duvall's live stream for Broken Empire?
Oh no, no, I didn't. What? Any new info or kind of?
So they're mostly done with the rules, but he said that the manuscript is like twice the size of what they originally thought it was gonna. So like they were originally thinking to be like a 250-page rule book,
Wow, yeah.
and right now with no art or layout done, it's like 450 pages or something.
Wow. Yeah, so we
Yeah,
could get a tome. Wow, that's crazy.
yeah. So um, they're still trying to get it done by the fall, which means it goes to. I think he's saying they want it to go to print in June. If they do, then that's when he'll make the PDF available.
Cool.
So we might be able to mess around with that PDF by June.
Oh, that'd be cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's the kind of thing. And kind of like first time and you've even said he's had some like, heartbreaking kind of like cutting some mechanics and stuff out,
Uh-huh.
just to make it, lean and mean and focus on what's important in the system. But still, yeah, having that much content in the book, that's crazy. And it would be even more expensive to break it into multiple volumes, and you're going to increase the cost. Yeah, incredibly. But page count, yeah, page count does can get expensive. And then shipping those even heavier books. Oh no.
And he was saying how he had a guy, I can't remember the name of the guy, somebody that has made like books of like tables for RPGs before that were very, I guess, pretty successful. I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, that guy is making like naming tables for him based on the different regions of the world and stuff.
Oh wow.
And he said that the guy went so far as to make tables where the pieces of the words and names are broken up.
Uh-huh.
And he said, like, I can't include that in the because that by itself would be like 100 pages.
Right.
And I was like, damn, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, and tables are good for PDFs and stuff. That kind of supplementary material would be good for
Yeah.
for digital stuff. And even, like and have somebody make an app, name generation, random name generation with apps and stuff instead of rolling on tables. Yeah.
Miguel wants to know what you know about the Warzone Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah, I read there's a complication with the VAT. They fucked up, of course, because this is their first time, crowdfunding. They fucked up and charged everybody VAT, all the European backers, when they said they wouldn't. And so now they're going back to their credit card processor and trying to get those charges reversed. But yeah, they've screwed up with so things might be delayed and people might be overcharged, but they're trying to resolve it. So I think that means even further delay. I think the book was, because I think they closed. I got a confirmation a while ago, but they're locking the addresses. So no more change of address. So stuff was supposed to be going out, but I think it's going to go out. I don't know if they're going to be able to assemble things and ship it all at once, because they've got tokens from one company, miniatures from another company, books from another company that are not going to be finished anywhere near each other. But yeah, that was the last thing I heard, Miguel. That last update is that they fucked up and charged everybody's card for the VAT, the tax, in Europe. So, whoops. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That's got to be so infuriating, though. Just being blindsided by stuff because I think the excuse that they gave was just that there was something sitting there and that the some balance that was sitting there that they were going to take out of the system and that the processor just automatically charged everybody. Those are just things you don't know without experience, So their next Kickstarter will be even better. Yeah, that was the last thing that I read. Yeah, I just want to see we got the PDF. They sent out the that was an interesting thing too, is the PDF of the final rulebook and the unit cards, digital versions of the unit cards, were all available to the backers. So that's it. I've got the miniatures. I've already got more Warzone miniatures than I'm ever going to need. So that's, I basically could play the game right now because they did give us a digital, I think they're still calling it a preview, but a digital version, the pretty complete rules. But that was the thing I was really surprised. They gave us digital versions of the unit cards. That's usually something that they they stick in the boxes and it's only physical, so they get you to buy their minis. But they didn't do that because they were a company that was that campaign was all about, we're not going to do STLs. We're never going to, support digital. And so I thought that would also be their justification for the cards only exist with your stats, your unit stats in the box. If you buy the unit, you get the stats. But yeah, everything was available. So I don't know. I wonder how it's going to do because people are kind of interested. Our Mutant Chronicles lore videos are getting a lot of a little uptick in views and stuff. People are checking those out more. So people are getting excited about something happening with Warzone Eternal, but I don't know. Don't know how it's going to happen, or what's going to happen and how popular it's going to be. There's so much competition now. Did you see that? It was all over the social media that I was looking at, the top 10 miniatures games for 2024. There was a lot of stuff that wasn't in there. There was a lot of surprising stuff, but BattleTech was number 2. So Catalyst was second. Of course, 40K was first, and then it kind of went down from there. There was some surprising stuff. I think third was a blind box WizKids D&D thing or something. I was like, well, who the hell buys that? But yeah, that was the number 3 miniatures game.
Is Trench on there?
No. There wasn't, and I think it was just retail. I think these were retail numbers.
Oh,
yeah.
It was sales based.
Yeah, I think so. War games, yeah. So Wargamer, yeah. I'm not gonna be able to find this anytime soon, but yeah, there was a screenshot of that was making the rounds, and Catalyst was all pumped because they were right behind 40K. They're like, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe their crowdfunding revenue counted towards that too. Shoot, yeah, I don't know how I would find that. But yeah, there was a little sneak of, and it was some a trade show, I think, where they put, there was a little PowerPoint frame, and somebody grabbed a snap of it. But the things that weren't up there are some of the, I don't think Shatterpoint was up there, the Star Wars game. There was a lot of stuff that, was surprising that it wasn't making sales. Stuff that seems like it's pretty popular. Oh, Mantic was up there, though, with Halo. That was surprising in the top 10. Yeah, I think Mantic's Halo game is doing well. That's another one of those properties I'm like, yeah, I'd play Halo again maybe, but I don't know. But supposedly the rules are good because it's their Dead Zone rules. So all the measurements are kind of cubes. So many cubes away. So that means either vertical or horizontal distance, and everything is so you're moving, your range is 3 zones, or it's kind of 3 cubes. And that supposedly really simplifies and handles tactics. You can get your head around the tactics a little bit more, as opposed to 12-inch range kind of stuff. But yeah. So that meant it was nice to see Mantic up there. But it was an odd list. It was, surprising what people are buying. Yes. So yeah, good to see everybody in the chat though. And thanks for everybody that showed up in the cartoon stream. that was fun to have a jumping chat. Although I was completely unaware of it until Matt messaged me and said, "Your combined chat is not working, dude, because there's a lot of people talking here." Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, so let me tell you the Ken St.
Oh
Andre.
yeah, yeah.
So, as I think I've mentioned to you before, I belong to an old timer D&D group on Facebook that is super, 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 super lefty, progressive, whatever you want to call it, which I actually kind of like most of the time, but once in a while it's a little annoying. But anyway, someone posted a bunch of screenshots from Twitter of Ken St. Andre. I guess he's like a really big Elon stan.
Oh
Like
wow.
he thinks Elon is going to save the country, and he's taking that tech bro kind of stance. Like Trump is just the tool to get what we need to fix the country. Blah blah blah.
Right.
So I was just kind of like, fuck. Damn it, old people.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think his thinking is interesting because I think we talked about this off air, but they're doing the latest release for Monstrous Monsters. The setting is using AI art, and they're very like openly saying, yes, we're using AI art for our stuff. It's actually being modified. Like they're using the AI art as a tool to do composed shots and stuff. It's not just like raw, puked out renders. So there is some, manpower, creativity going into it. But that touches on that thing. The problem that I have with AI art is, okay, you can use that and use that as a tool. Don't charge us for that, because you didn't pay illustrators. So this book should be however much cheaper. And it pretty much is. Like their stuff is really reasonably priced. So it should be that much cheaper because you didn't pay any artists. And there was some work, Stephen had to do work laying it out and editing the to actually give composition to these illustrations. Did some work, but yeah, it's I don't know. It's good in a way to see that he's still thinking. He's still like has some optimism and is placing his faith in technology. I think too many people in the government now are reading, what is it, the Mencius mold bug? Do you know that name?
No.
The blogger that I think it's Curtis Yarvin is the guy's real name. And he wrote a blog for a while. His philosophy was basically saying, yes, we need a king to serve at the pleasure of the people, and technology is what's going to power that. So he basically what we're seeing happening. So sorry to jump into politics, but what we're seeing happening in American government is stuff that this guy's been talking about since like the early 2000s. I guess 2007 to 14 he wrote this a newsletter for the Gray Mirror, and then had his blog as Mencius Moldbug. But yeah, this is and people have already, like J.D. Vance and a lot of people have already admitted they read his writing. So this may be the thing. We're going to install our techno-feudalist king.
Oh God. Oh God.
I don't know who it will be, but I'm sure everyone will be vying for it. Yeah. Yeah, so he sees, I guess it was like an early libertarian writer. He sees libertarianism as creating a matrix-like totalitarian system and wants to replace American democracy with this techno-monarchy. Yeah. So kind of edgy, cool stuff if you watch The Matrix. But yeah, because basically and I think a lot of people, a lot of younger people especially have been disillusioned with the progressive liberal agenda and how we've seen this whole shift. It's like, wait, you guys aren't pro-worker, you guys aren't anti-war anymore, what the fuck is going on? So I think that this has created this people searching for something else in the rubble.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anywho, moving on.
One little funny tidbit to that.
Mm-hmm.
The guy posted all of the shots on the group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, this is an old school D&D player group, but it's primarily very left leaning. So one person, immediately after that is like, "Oh, I had no idea. That was on my list of games to try. Well, I'll never try that now."
Right,
it's like,
right.
You dumb, you play D&D,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what's going on with some of the people that used to be involved with D&D. So
Yeah.
this is a game that this guy doesn't even own anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm never playing that." That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, I can't believe it's still a thing, but I guess social media just kind of, supports this so well. But tattletales and woke scolds are a plague. Everybody wanted to start their little secret Facebook message group to talk shit about people, at their workplace, and all the stuff that they're doing to kind of just like, it's the wife's, the gossip circle of the wives now is this like thing where everybody is like holier than thou in their beliefs. I mean, if anybody got their social media, especially like into the late 90s, combed through, I'm sure they said some pretty stupid shit on on MySpace or whatever. It's like, come on, this is yeah. It's very funny, and it's a shame too that people are really trying to trash, but it's happening with people that pass away too. But people are trying to trash people later in life just because they're getting to be grumpy old men, and they're getting pretty pissed off at like this world. And you just kind of you kind of intellectually, I think, leave the world anyhow towards the end of your life. You're just like, I don't understand what's going on. It scares me, and I hate it.
I just want to watch my stories.
I just want to go away. Yeah. And so, social media is not a great fit for that. But I really don't like all of this, pointing finger. Did you see? And dredging up this stuff, because that's endless. That's an endless cycle. And nobody is woke enough to survive that. Nobody's pure enough. The purity testing there's no one that will survive that kind of bullshit. So, yeah, I really don't like that. And it's just become a thing. It's some people's full pastime. Now they're what they live for. But yeah, I think it's created by the social media, how social media works anyhow, when you can whisper to people and talk to people, and then you can yell publicly at the same time. So you can give them death threats, and then you can also tell them that they're fascists. I don't know. But yeah, we are in a weird place. America is in a weird place historically. We'll see how this all shakes out. Hopefully it'll inspire some good films. I don't know.
Hey, speaking of film, did you see the Andor season 2 trailer?
Oh no, I didn't. Oh, I got to check that out.
It looks good, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I just recently rewatched Rogue One. Just kind of had it on in the background, and
I did too.
Oh, cool! And it's not like I like it so much better than I did when I was like kind of being critical of it and saying like, is this where Star Wars is going? What is this? There's no character development. The characters are kind of, one note or kind of too simple. But the intensity of it, I really liked. And I wish they could still do that. Cause I guess after seeing all the stuff that they put on Disney Plus, like the tone of Star Wars is really lame. It's really weak and walking and talking in hallways kind of stuff. And Andor, Rogue One, the tone for Rogue One, which is action on action on action, and it had like the good Star Wars stuff in it, and they did a nice job of making it intense, and that was nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you took out the now very dated looking deep fake stuff they did, like, it's a really solid movie.
Yeah. Yeah, really, if like at the end of that, if Leia didn't turn around, you just had someone dressed as Leia and, maybe AI voiced Carrie Fisher or whatever saying that line, and you would know who that was just from seeing her from behind. You didn't have to have her waxy face say hope, and then of course the Grand Moff Tarkin stuff. is
Yeah,
so really distracting.
and today I was killing some time, and someone's got a 24-hour channel. Oh,
Oh, sorry. Be right back. I'll leave you, Matt. Go ahead. Continue.
oh no! Well, someone has a 24-hour channel of Space 1999 running on YouTube right now. Which, if you don't know what that is, congratulations, you're young. But it was an old sci-fi series, 76, maybe 77, something like that, about a moon base where the moon gets ripped out of the Earth's orbit and sent hurtling through space. And it's got like Martin Landau and a bunch of English actors because I think it was filmed in England. But I just watched an episode with Peter Cushing as an alien, and he was, Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars. And in this old, crappy 70s TV show where he's wearing horrible makeup, he looks more like Peter Cushing than the deepfake Peter Cushing from Rogue One does. More ads, huh? Sorry, guys. Andor's trailer was awful and was back to status quo. Oh, Abyss, you're so wrong. How can you be so wrong, kid? Come on. Or are you just being controversial to keep the chat going? Might be that, huh? No, it's better we argue about Star Wars than politics, most likely. Don't get me wrong, I hate a lot of Star Wars these days, but Andor, that's the business. A friend of mine was telling me there's a new Space 1999 RPG. Yes, I saw something about that. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, it's Modifius.
Hey there.
Hey. We're
What was that?
We're talking about Space 1999.
Oh,
Modifius role-playing game.
yeah. Oh, that's one. Yeah, that's one I'd love to play because it's such a wacky premise. You can't take it too seriously.
No, you can't at all. So, the reason we're talking about it was, coming soon. Oh, okay, it's not out yet. $60. God dang.
Ugh. Yeah.
Anywho, I was talking about it because there's a 24-hour live stream kind of channel on YouTube right now where someone's just showing Space 1999 episodes. And so I watched a couple of them today. And the first one I watched had Christopher Lee as an alien.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And the second one I watched had Peter Cushing as an alien.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Oh, you literally had Dracula and what's his name? The Dracula killer. Both appeared. Yeah,
Van Helsing.
I know they both appeared on Space 1999.
That's great.
But what's funny about the Peter Cushing one to me was like it's this crappy 70s resolution TV image, right? And they threw gold makeup on him and put some stuff on his head. And he looks more like Peter Cushing than that deep fake Peter Cushing looks in Rogue One.
Right. That's great. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that show, and it's a shame. I think there's only 2 seasons of it, and there was a huge kind of change in like direction and like thinking at the second season. That's when it got all wacky, and there was the alien girl, the shape shifting into animals, alien member of the crew then, and all that stuff. So it really got a little wacky. But the first season was kind of like much more quiet and talky. And the resolutions, that was I think the very big difference that I thought as a kid between that show and Star Trek is Space 1999 didn't have great resolutions to things. Like they didn't have good messages, or like, you didn't get a lot.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of
It wasn't like a
preaching.
moral or
Yeah, it just
anything.
kind of
Yeah.
things just like kind of reset. It's like, oh, glad that's over.
Yeah. It was just constantly, and then this shit happens.
Right, right.
Like the one with what's that? Well, the one I watched, I actually watched three today because the one I watched after Peter Cushing was this one where their moon hits this like weird cosmic debris field, and it just traumatizes everyone because it, I don't know, messes with the gravity or something. And then when they come out of it, they're in another part of space than they were, and they don't know what happened. But people like there's this one girl who's like freaking out, and she keeps like bouncing between two realities.
Oh, yeah,
And,
nice.
and they end up finding Earth, and the moon just like goes to Earth and gets back into its original orbit.
Uh-huh.
And then they're like, okay, we'll go down to Earth and check things out because no one's answering their communications. And then they're like, oh shit, there's another moon in orbit and it's headed right for us. So it's like they got put into a parallel universe that they didn't belong to
Right.
But at the resolution to it was they go down to Earth and they meet with themselves. And they're like, oh yeah, there was this great catastrophe, and you can't be here because if you stay, we'll all be destroyed because it violates the time or something, bullshit like that.
Right.
You have to go back to the moon, and when the other moon collides with your moon, everything will be returned to the way it was. So they just go back and say, okay, I hope that works. And the two moons collide, and then everything's back to normal. Time for the next episode.
Yeah, definitely. They really played into that episodic. We gotta reset. We gotta get back to where we were.
Yeah.
I would love to run that. Yeah, that show is near and dear. Yeah. To me, the most unflattering uniforms of any sci-fi show ever.
They actually, they remind me a lot of the Star Trek motion picture uniforms.
Oh yeah.
They're kind of similar. But yeah, man. I had the moon, whatever the little ship was called. I can't remember what they called it.
The Eagle.
Eagle. Yeah, I had a die cast one of those.
Wow.
When I was a kid. And I had a squirt gun that looked like their weird little staple gun lasers they use.
Nice. Yeah, that was my first model kit, was the Eagle, the Space 1999 Eagle. And I painted it with like crazy shiny lacquer paint all over. It looked terrible, but it was my first modeling hobby project.
So it says they're shipping it in March, Calarion, and yeah, it looks like it's 2D20 because I'm looking. They have some sample character sheets, and it's
cool.
An attitude and a skill, and then they have talents that spend momentum. So yeah, I think it's all 2D20 then.
Cool. Well, we can get into that. Not too much difficulty.
Well, you, me, and Terry will be very familiar with it.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be perfect though. Will though was great at going in completely blind. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's true. He that's his superpower is to role play very well in properties he has no understanding of.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That would be really fun. Yeah, I love that. And if they do a nice job of letting you create, kind of like having episodic mysteries, like it might be kind of the same way that when we were playing Star Trek, it's like a 1 or 2 session, it's going to be resolved, and it's just this thing you have to deal with. If they do those same kind of mechanics, if Modifius does like a mystery with complications, and you have to kind of sort things out, and if they give you either a way to make those or a nice selection of those, that might be really fun.
Valerian said that his friend of his play tested it and said it was great.
Oh, well, that sounds good. Good to hear some positive stuff, because it's always tricky, And I think though, if they could pull off Star Trek, I definitely think they could pull off Space 1999, because there's much less. Things don't have to make sense. It just doesn't have to make sense. That's the great part of it. Yeah, very fun. And yeah, that's good. I'll have to take a look for that streaming channel. I'd love to catch up on that stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll send you a link to it. it's in my history now. And then Carolina brought up Logan's Run. I was like, that would be a hilarious, silly RPG too. Like
Yeah, that would
do a
be.
Logan's Run thing.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think there'd be some some real fun in there. Yeah, they've ripped that idea off enough in more modern movies like The Island and stuff yeah, but I think that original setting would be fun. Yeah, wacky, like 60s and 70s sci-fi. Definitely, there's a lot of stuff still there that we haven't mined. I think because we're just so locked into Star Wars and Star Trek as being that's sci-fi, or kind of like the early TSR kind of stuff, Star Frontiers and stuff like that. Thinking we haven't gotten away from that thinking and just making it silly and fun. I guess. Yeah, is there any? I guess something like Paranoia or something is like the really only more playful sci-fi settings. Yeah.
Logan's Run, now that I think about it, because it was really just the era it was made in that made Logan's Run seem, in hindsight, kind of wacky. Like, they didn't have, obviously, the tech to make it look good, and the costuming looked very dated. And the musical score, from what I remember, was kind of bad too.
Right.
But the idea could be really dark and almost Blade Runner like, because if you all play, what do they call the guys that chased you?
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah,
because the people that didn't want to go on carousel were the runners, and then Logan and other people were the guys that went after them. They're called like hunters or something, but like it'd be kind of dramatic and fun to do a thing where you start out as those guys and then you were supposed to go on carousel. Now maybe you're not so hot on this whole idea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Yeah, that could be some fun tension. Yeah, and I think Blade Runner kind of proved that just having that real simple kind of difficult moral decision making in a RPG can be really fun. It can push you different ways and kind of guide the role play a lot. That's cool. Yeah, Logan's Run. Wow. A lot of double knits and one piece jumpsuits. Everyone's gonna be looking a little crazy.
So tomorrow, Sandman, thank you, Abyss. Yeah, they were called Sandman. That's cool.
Right.
So tomorrow, DCC, and then Friday after that, I won't be around. So
that's right.
End up doing.
Okay.
What do you think about doing the Lisa's Mostas the week after that?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that would be good.
If everyone's available, or if 4 people are available.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, very fun. Yeah, we can play around with the board and stuff too. I think it worked. I guess what we did though technically worked pretty well. Marking the score and everything. Yeah, if there's anything else. Yeah,
I know people watching on their phone were having a hard time reading it. But
okay.
I don't really know what we could do for that.
Right.
Like maybe we can look at cropping it a little more in there.
Sure. Yeah, we can make things smaller, make the actual board itself bigger. Yeah, because I can play around with the scale of everything. So yeah, we can play around with that. Yeah, because you use the really readable font, right? You did like Impact or Helvetica or something. So yeah, it should be it should be very readable.
Helvetica New or some bullshit.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so we'll have to see. What I don't know. I don't know what we should do.
And then are we doing Dragonbane after that, or what?
Oh, sure. Yeah, if we want to start the Misty Veil campaign, that would be great. Yeah, that's right.
Or whatever you want to do.
Okay. Yeah, Dragonbane would be fun.
I'm in lazy mode now. Like, I feel like I have. This is the way my brain works. It's terrible, but it's like I've got Lisa's Moses in a can. So why would I work on anything until I don't have that in a can?
Right.
That's just the way my brain works. Terrible.
Right.
But I figure the next thing I probably want to do after that I run would be episode or the sequel for Indie Heat.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah, that would be great. Oh yeah, yeah. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what should we do for the when you're not there. I wonder what would be a fun thing that would be easy to put together, because I just thought of the that quick start for Outgunned is pretty fun. The kind of prequel thing for their longer adventure. I don't know, something maybe that we've already played, so there's not a big learning curve, or something real easy to pick up. I'll have to take a look and see what
because long term, I mean, I would like to get back and do another Tunnel of Trolls adventure at some point, way down the line. But long term, I do eventually want to wedge in this Swords of the Serpentine.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, Will's been saying that he'd like to play something ongoing. And that is a game that definitely would be good for that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be episodic, and to one shot. Yeah, that would be fun. And how is character creation in that? Will that be a good time, like, to kind of feel our way out?
I think we should probably do a session 0 because we need to create some like households and alliances and enemies and things like that at the same time that the characters are being made. So that would probably be a complete session 0 with no like going into an adventure.
Right.
I'm guessing.
Nice. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, and you're talking about it has enough intrigue. It'll be very Dune-like in, like, the forces working against people, plotting against each other, and nice.
Yeah, I mean, part of that will definitely be dictated by the sort of shtick you guys go with as a group. But yeah, no matter what you do, there's going to be some politicking going on. Like, there's a lot of different choices. My personal favorites would be like if you came from an old wealthy family, like you were minor actors in an old wealthy family, could be a lot of fun. But they have all kinds of suggestions. Like the one is you own a bookshop that you guys and you try to acquire rare books, which could be fun too, So a lot of ways we could go with it.
That's cool. Yeah, nice. Very cool. Yeah. Carolina says yes, Dune.
Dune.
We'll have to get back to Dune when around the time of the third film. I think they're shooting that this summer, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they're shooting it. He wants to get it out because he wants to do that Rendezvous with Rama movie. And he's handing it over, it sounds like, to that what's his name? Gareth something or other.
Oh, the Gareth Andrews?
Is it Gareth Edwards?
Edwards. Yeah, I think the Rogue One guy, right? Is that?
Yeah. He's supposedly the one that's going to do Children of Dune.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Which could be good, could be bad, who knows? But, it'll be very different from Villeneuve, I think.
Right.
But that's probably okay because, I mean, once you get past Messiah, I think a shift in the look and feel of it might be actually a good thing.
Yeah.
It is like a new era in a way,
No, that's true. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I can't believe, if they keep, as long as the art direction stays strong. Yeah, because we tolerated Dune Prophecy, whatever that was. That was not a great experience in that world, but it looked good. Yeah, it looked Dune-ish. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I wonder how long that property will work, because it like we were talking about when we had a little conversation about Prophecy. It's based on some pretty shaky ground. Those like after Frank novels are not great. Not great material to draw from. So
I just hope they kind of got the dumb bits out of the way now, and they can focus on the sisterhood being the sisterhood. Please don't use red writing in quiz show because unreadable. Okay.
Okay.
I'll check in my slides. Did I use red?
And maybe some of the I think I did.
Titles?
Some of the titles for the teams and stuff. I think I indicated like red.
Oh, we have a red team. That's kind of hard to not.
We want to use red for the red team.
It definitely won't be in the questions and answers.
Yeah.
Indie so maybe in a month or two we can do that. Next quiz, Carolina, I think we're looking at about 2 weeks from now, roughly?
Yeah. In 2 weeks. Yeah. We gotta figure that out so we can have like contestants. It's like anybody that's on a webcam could be a contestant. That would be really fun to make Listas Mostas like an actual like contestants from people can just apply to be a contestant on the show. That would be really fun.
Oh yeah, you guys, our regular crew that's on right now, let us know if that's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You're gonna need to have a dedicated mic and headphones and not be interrupted for a couple hours.
Yeah, nobody should be delivering groceries like happened to me. Yeah. But that would be really cool. Yeah, I guess the quality controls would be the hard part, is because everybody comes in with different levels of microphone and video quality and stuff, and especially the distance, distance and time zones.
Yeah,
cool.
Fortunately, though, it is just a quiz show, so it's not like cutting out your character's monologue or anything.
Right. Yeah, that's true. You just need to be able to answer. And there's not even like quick response, like, slapping a buzzer or anything. That's that was very smart.
Yeah. The only way we could do that kind of quiz show is through some kind of app. And I don't even want to deal with that right now.
Yeah, but nice. Very cool. So we will be back with some Dungeon Crawl classics. It'll be fun. A funnel will be very fun, especially. So Will has already, I guess both Will and Dylan have been in DCC funnels.
Well, Will has been in a couple.
Okay.
I don't know if Dylan played in one with us or not, but he'll be fine.
Yeah. It'll be fun. Yeah.
He's at that age where he's pretty murder hobo anyway. So.
Perfect. Nice. All right. Well, cool. So I won't keep Matt up too long. Are you doing okay? Are you good?
Okay. I'm
Okay.
doing fine. I'm just I'm grabbing that link right now. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's right. Miguel brought up. Yeah. Star Wars may take a turn because Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down possibly after this year. It's going to be weird though. I wonder, because it could get worse. It literally, like, she's terrible, but she's not the worst thing possible. There are much worse things. So we'll see if the devil
Oh yeah.
is going to be.
If you want to know the worst thing, it's that showrunner guy at Paramount.
Oh.
What's his name? For Star Trek stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Alex Kurtzman. That guy's a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He is
the Abrams school, right? Yeah.
I could go at great lengths at how he's ruining Star Trek. But anyway.
Yeah, so you didn't watch Section 31 or whatever. Did you
Oh,
watch?
no. So after the FUBARs that were Discovery and Picard, I just watched the Red Letter Media breakdown
Right.
of any new Star Trek
Yeah.
property.
Yeah, that's really helping a lot. That people will suffer for us and just tell us, yeah, it was rough. We don't actually have to waste those minutes.
Yeah, that one, oh, oof. I watched their breakdown because when they do those, because they're big Star Trek fans, when they do those ones, they get into it. Like, in that Section 31 just, it just looks like hot garbage, man.
Right. Yeah, and they're planning to make that the original plan was to make that a series too. That's amazing. Yeah, and it's so weird. Like we saw that with like Game of Thrones and stuff. Like showrunners can they can get obsessed with. We have to do this. This is something we have to do. We really want to do this, and they'll just ruin everything just to get this one idea or this one image on the screen, or in the series. And I think that's happened a lot with Star Trek.
Well, and just turning it into like mindless space battles now, and it's just, it's like that's not Star Trek at all,
Yeah.
And they don't even do it as well as like a Star Wars mindless space battle,
Right. Yeah.
It's like you're out of your element. Go back to regular Star Trek, please.
Yeah, it's funny. I bet it's just hard to convince executives or anybody that that's viable anymore. Everything has to be flashy and bitchy and say the F word. It's like that's cool. That's what the kids want. But
oh yeah.
But when we for the last Lisa's Mostas, I was shocked that the Star Trek series of Strange New Worlds. That's like the #1 Star Trek reviewed thing ever. Like,
So I actually, that's the one of the modern properties besides Lower Decks that I actually I like, and mainly because they're sticking to for the most part, a very episodical approach. So it feels like old style Star Trek in that regard. The guy that plays Pike, I'm blanking his name right now, but I love that actor.
Yeah. So he carries.
I was a huge Hell on Wheels fan, and he was the main protagonist in Hell on Wheels. And so I really like that guy. So I have sort of this built-in bias, unfortunately. They've done some stuff that's really turned people off, like they did the all musical episode.
Oh yeah, right.
But they did it the way the older Star Treks did those ones where they'd get the drunk disease, It was kind of the same idea. Right. So I feel like sometimes people are being picky about a thing that if they just stood back a little bit, they'd go, oh, okay, they're singing and dancing instead of being drunk. Oh, okay.
Right. But it was the 60s, you had the campy stuff was that studio especially was campy was okay, because look at Batman, look at them trying to recreate campy Batman movies in the 90s. Yikes.
Anson Mount, that guy's name is Anson Mount. I love that dude.
Cool. I don't know, it's a funny thing. I think we're
however, I will say the guy that they've picked to be Kirk, right? The guy who's Kirk in Strange New Worlds, and people are expecting them to eventually make a Kirk show or something. He's so not.
Oh yeah,
he's so not impressive as William T. Kirk at all.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to do like a Shatner impression, but you need to have screen presence, right?
Yeah.
This guy is just a scrawny little weaselly looking dude, and it's just like, why? How did you cast this guy?
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that was the thing that always stood out to me is the pilot for the original Star Trek. the original series, the actor that played Kirk in that. And then once Shatner was in the role, you're like, holy shit, he is just like, he's dominating the screen, you know? Yeah, he has such presence and like really knew how to just how to do that. And especially the time, you know, that he was in and everything was perfect. Perfect amount of everything.
Now that comes with the fact that he just has a monster ego,
right? Yeah.
But it worked.
I've got some good Shatner stories I can't tell. I can't tell on stream. Yeah. Oh. But I worked for a guy that had some connection to Shatner that was actually really, really funny. Yeah. But off mic, I'll tell you some funny Shatner stuff.
Does this involve a swimming pool and his wife?
It certainly does. Did I tell you that already?
Shit. No. I am aware of some of rumors regarding that.
Okay. No, this is just this is prior to that. It doesn't. Yeah, that's not the main thing. But it's just a funny irony of a guy that I worked with and like what his connection to William Shatner was very bizarre. Gotcha. But that's how it ends. It does end in a swimming pool. Oh man.
Dude, that dude's gonna live forever.
I know. Yeah, that's amazing.
Did you hear about the whole thing with Gene Hackman and his wife and dog?
And yes. And they thought it must be carbon monoxide or something because why would everybody in the residence? Yeah,
and they were in like separate rooms. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so weird.
Wow.
The one thing about that I thought was funny was like I read news articles and it was like the police do not suspect foul play, and it's like, don't you a little bit suspect foul play when two people and their dog all died together?
Right.
It doesn't have to be foul play, but don't you a little bit suspect foul?
Yeah, that really sucks when someone that's had such a great career, like the last thing that everybody thinks about them is the wacky way that they left. Yeah, they left the world.
Like the kid that played Chekhov in the new movies.
Oh yeah,
ran over himself with his car.
Right.
Oh my god, dude.
Or like Dennis Hopper, like was like held prisoner by his like young wife. Like, yeah, I was like, there's some really people that really had some bad exits. Yeah. Not good. This is the Hollywood corner of the post roll. Oh man,
we're doing what's a stupid gossip channel? TMZ. Yeah, we're doing TMZ.
That's right. We got a TMZ sponsorship. I can't believe that became such a thing. Yeah, TMZ. I guess with social media. Now, anybody with a phone can be harassing paparazzi, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. We don't get to do much TMZ stuff now that Kyle's not around.
That's right. We got to find somebody else. There's got to be some other situation that, somebody's just going to make that stupid mistake of saying nonsense on podcasts, you know, being the spokesperson for a company and making such fools of themselves. I'm sure there's
we could probably, and it's not even probably hard. Like we could probably, if we looked up who the current head of Dungeons and Dragons is, and then checked out all of their like Twitter posts, eventually we'd probably find something and be like, ah.
Yeah. I knew. I don't think we talked about it on the air, but yeah, I checked into who was. I think it's a super liberal arts college girl that I forget what her previous experience was, but it's like a young woman compared to Kyle, the aging hot tub baron,
the middle-aged hot tub salesman.
Yeah, she was much younger, but yeah, she's very felt very agenda-y. Yeah, the university that she went to and stuff was notorious. So we'll see.
That could be a funny little thing you just do every once in a while on the weekly is like, let's check in on Kyle's LinkedIn profile and See what it says now.
Yeah, yeah. I bet he'll just leave that consulting thing up there forever. He doesn't want people to find him. He'll change his name. He'll have plastic surgery and change his name. People like me weren't leaving the industry. I lied.
Oh, hey, I watched the Gorge.
Oh, how was that on Apple? Yeah.
I put it in the fun but not gonna ever win any awards category. I like it was entertaining, and it had some cool ideas. Like there were some neat ideas going on in there. I mean, do you know anything about it? Like,
Yeah, I saw the trailer and I think a quick review, like a real short review, not no spoiler kind of review.
yeah. So I won't spoil it, but basically, what you get from the trailer is people from the east and the west are sent to this gorge, and their whole job is to guard it and not let anything get out, but they don't know what it is, or anything. And it's kind of cool because it unravels slowly, which is nice. It feels more like a 60s or 70s era movie because it unravels really slowly. You spend a lot of time with the characters before the crazy shit happens, And so there's a lot of focus on the fact that there's an American guy on one side of the gorge, and he's all by himself. And there's I guess it's implied she's like Soviet Russian related, but she's, I think, actually from Latvia or something on the other side of the gorge, and she's all by herself. So it delves into them having to be alone and not knowing what's going on and everything. And it's kind of cool. And then when the shit goes crazy, it's like it would make it'd actually make a pretty fun RPG adventure at that point. Yeah, it's pretty neat. But it's nothing groundbreaking.
Yeah, yeah.
Sigourney Weaver is in it.
Oh,
Kinda. I mean, it's like one or two steps above like when Bruce Willis was trying to pay all his medical bills, so he'd just be inserted into a bad movie.
Right. Oh,
it's a couple steps above that, but she's like, she didn't need to be in it at all.
Wow. Yeah, her name is still enough of a draw. They're like, oh, maybe. Ah, that's funny. Yeah, I hope Apple stays away from because they keep still releasing reliably decent quality stuff because the whole Netflix thing is so scary. Like they'll just throw huge paychecks at names and they'll throw together this plot that barely makes any sense. These movies are just they're like the I think we talked about that before. They're like the fake trailers in a movie if they actually made the movie that the fake trailer was based on. Like when they have cheesy action movie trailers in a movie to laugh at. No, let's make that movie, and that's what Netflix does.
Yeah, I think Apple's a lot better at caretaking their stuff. I'd recommend it if you got some time to kill. It's cool. It's got some neat ideas in it.
Nice. Oh, very cool. All right. Well, yeah, we will be back soon. So about this time, we'll have killed a lot of PCs. And so I'll bring up that idea of and I'll actually get the rules from the Lankmar box set, so you guys can look at the fleeting luck thing and see if you want to play with that during this session. I think it'd be pretty fun, and we can track it pretty easily in Roll20, so we don't have to worry about that. And I guess like it's started this whole cottage industry of poker chips, luck point poker chips. Like Goodman Games makes some, and a lot of supporting like third party people make just the luck point tokens for DCC now. Because they're fun to throw around. But all right. Well, cool.
All right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for everybody, all the members and patrons, and thanks for hanging in there. And so, of course, this audio is on the RSS feed, which you may be listening to right now, and hopefully it will be of decent quality. The way we record this is actually a higher. It's 48K instead of the lowly audio that we get from Twitch or the backup on Restream. So a little bit sweeter, a little bit nicer to listen to. And yeah, we will be back again next week. So thanks so much, and see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.